You've seen the headlines, right? Mortgage rates are finally coming down. And for anyone trying to buy a home, that feels like the best news in years. But what if I told you that good news is actually a trap and that the key to affordability has nothing to do with the interest rate? Let's dig in. We're going to talk about something I call the 5% illusion. And it's a really dangerous misconception that's fooling millions of hopeful homebuyers as we speak. So you see this everywhere. The news is all celebrating that rates are finally dipping below that big, scary 6% number. But for so many people out there actually trying to buy a house, the reality is, well, it's this. That dream home feels just as impossible as it did last year. So what gives? Now, to be fair, the headlines are technically correct. The data shows rates have dropped, from a pretty painful 6.76% last year down to a more manageable 5.88% today. So yeah, on paper, borrowing money is definitely cheaper. But that's only half the picture. Because while rates have been falling, this number hasn't budged. This is the median home price in the US, and it is just stuck at this staggeringly high level. And when you have lower rates crashing into stubbornly high prices, it creates this powerful illusion of affordability. So here it is. This is the trap, plain and simple. The 5% illusion is when you focus only on the savings you're getting on your monthly payment from a lower rate, while you completely ignore the giant, inflated, permanent price you have to pay to get the house in the first place. It's a real wealth killer. Okay, so enough with the theory. To see how this trap actually works in the wild, let's step away from the charts and walk into the middle of a weekend open house. This is where it all goes down. So, picture it. It's a beautiful Saturday. You finally found a house you actually love. It's listed at a fair price. But then you pull up, and your heart just sinks. There are cars parked for blocks in every direction. This isn't just an open house, it's a festival. And the line to even get inside? Oh man, it snakes out the front door, down the steps, and onto the sidewalk. And why? Because every single person who heard that news about lower rates decided to show up to the exact same house on the exact same day. You can just feel the competition in the air. It's thick. You finally make it inside. You're weaving through the crowds, trying to picture your sofa in the living room, when your real estate agent grabs your arm and pulls you into the kitchen. And you just know from the look on their face, this isn't going to be good news. And boom, there it is, the trap is sprung, and your brain immediately starts doing these dangerous financial gymnastics. You're thinking, okay, with that lower rate, my monthly payment's gonna be, about $135 less. So I guess I can't afford to pay an extra $22,000. This right here is the illusion in action. But wait, hold on. Let's hit the pause button. Let's just strip all the emotion out of it for a second and just do the cold, hard math. What is the real cost of that snap decision? Okay, here's the trade-off you just made. To win the bidding war, you agreed to pay an extra 22 grand. That is cash that goes straight from your pocket into the seller's. In exchange, the bank gives you a break on interest to the tune of about $135 a month. That's money that stays in your pocket. Seems pretty reasonable, right? Well, that brings us to the single most important question that almost nobody stops to ask in the heat of the moment. How long is it going to take for that $135 a month to actually pay off the $22,000 you just overpaid? And the math, it's just brutally simple. You take the premium you paid, that $22,000, and you divide it by your monthly savings of $135. The answer you get is 162 months. And what is 1,600 months? It's 13 and a half years. Let that sink in. It will take you 13 and a half years of mortgage payments just to break even on the good deal you made in that kitchen. And if you want some context for that number, the average American moves every 5 to 7 years. So if you're like most people, you're going to sell this house long before you ever make back that premium. You've essentially just handed the seller tens of thousands of dollars for nothing. So why on earth do we fall for this? We're smart, rational people, right? It's because in that moment, we're not fighting a math problem. We are fighting one of the most powerful forces in our own psychology. Let me introduce you to your real opponent, FOMO, fear of missing out. It is the most expensive broker on the planet. It turns you from a logical investor into just another person at an auction, terrified that if you don't win this prize, you'll be left out in the cold forever.
Okay, but you are not defenseless against this. Now that we've seen the trap, let's talk about how to get out of it. Here is a quick survival guide to break free from the 5% illusion and actually take back control. Just 3 simple rules. Number 1, date the rate but marry the price. Look, you can always refinance your interest rate later. You can never, ever change the price you paid for the house. Always negotiate the principal. Number 2, use the 15-mile rule. If you just expand your search by 15 miles, you can often find prices that are way lower and totally avoid those crazy bidding wars. And third, and this is the most important, ruthlessly kill FOMO. You have to be willing to walk away. I promise you, another house will always come along. Now, seeing through this illusion, that's the key to making a smarter decision today. But the core idea here, focusing on the real, unshakable foundation of your finances, that's about to become more important than ever. Because at the end of the day, everything, the house, the mortgage, your financial security, it's all built on this one simple truth. The foundation for all of it is your paycheck, your income. So look, the headlines are always going to chase the latest rate drop. But the smart buyer, the one who wins in the long run, looks right past the monthly payment and stays laser focused on the permanent price. Because winning a bidding war just to lose your financial freedom for the next 13 years, that's no victory at all. So that leaves us with a much bigger question to think about for the future. What happens to that foundation when AI comes for your job?